You know what's interesting to me? One of the things that's been getting me lately is this water situation in California. It's pretty bad. It's 3 years going on 4 years now, and the drought is pretty ferocious. Like they're saying that California used 29% less water last month, so people are working to try to solve it. But what was occurring to me when I was thinking about this is we know for a fact that there's areas of the world that used to be lush and then they became desert. Like we know for a fact about the Nile Valley, like in Egypt, where the pyramids used to be, where the pyramids are rather. Before that, like 9,000 years ago, they know there was a rainforest there, and slowly over time, shit just changed, and then there's not that much rainfall, and that could easily happen in California. But would we stay? Would everybody stay here? Would they just keep pumping water artificially into the spot, or would people go, you know what, this ain't working? This ain't working. We don't have any fucking. We got to move on. Like we've always had to, all throughout human history. Whenever the climate got bad, people had to get the fuck out of there. When the Ice Age was happening here, no one was living in Canada. No one was living in Canada during the Ice Age because it was 2 miles thick of ice in a lot of spots. You're not living on ice, right? You would find a way to get to a place where it's not ice. You know, but all the places that were covered in ice it was a massive amount of Canada. So when all that ice receded, that's where we got the Great Lakes from. The Great Lakes are fucking puddles that are melted glaciers. I mean, that's how fucking crazy this place was just 10,000 years ago. If we had a house and it was there, you can't be stubborn. When the ice starts coming, you can't say, we're just going to keep chipping away at that ice every year. Like at a certain point in time, you got to realize, okay, if there's 2 miles of ice and it's as big as fucking Canada or half of Canada or even a few states, where those few states are, you can't live. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. And if that happens here, we're so arrogant. Our idea that we can control nature is so arrogant. No one considers leaving California. Like everybody talks about like, well, California's California. We got to do something about the California water crisis. What if it never rains again? Because guess what? That could happen. If it doesn't rain but once or twice a year or 10 times a year or 20 times a year, there have been way crazier things than a shift in our climate to the point where it rains zero. That's totally possible. It's totally possible. If it's possible to rain 1 day a year, it's possible to rain 0. If it's possible to rain 10, it's possible to rain 1. It could be horrific, disastrous. It's totally possible, and it would be normal. It would be something that's happened all throughout the world. They know that like a lot of deserts used to be like lush areas, and then somehow or another, like for whatever reason, things changed. Things shifted. You know, and you can blame people all you want. I'm sure we have a lot to do with it. I'm sure global warming, that there's without a doubt as some element of human civilization is a part of it. There's too many scientists that believe it does. There's got to be some factor. But even without that factor, it's super possible that shit would change on its own. It shifts. We don't control when it rains. It can fucking shift. It easily could shift. And if you're in a spot that sucks, you got to make a decision. You got to figure out what the fuck you're going to do. It rains more in Phoenix than it rains here.
It rains in Phoenix a lot, actually. I didn't know that. In Ohio and in Houston, look at Galveston. It's raining so much that there's shit water everywhere, and people are losing their sight because it's overfilled all the sewage and stuff.
What?
You haven't read about this?
Sight?
Yeah, this girl lost her sight just from being in the water because they tested the water. It's all shit water. It's in Galveston and Houston. They've had such bad flooding in the past month.
It's been horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
Oh my God! I saw some of the photos.
Horrible
I remember that back when we worked at the Laugh stop.
When I was there, they were thinking about that Sunday floods. That was 2 months ago. So.
No, the Laugh stop.